From fires to possible mudslides tonight, preparations underway as Southern California braces for rain this weekend. And President Donald Trump on the ground in Pacific Palisades, promising the full support of the federal government as SoCal rebuilds following the devastating fires. But first, breaking news at 8, Pete Hegseth confirmed as defense secretary in a razor-tight vote on Capitol Hill. The Senate confirmed Hegseth in a 51-50 vote, with Vice President J.D. Vance casting the tie-breaking vote. The 3 Republican senators voted no on Hegseth's confirmation: Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine, and Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. This is the second time in U.S. history a vice president has had to break a tie for a cabinet nominee. And tonight, President Trump commenting on Hegseth's confirmation while leaving LAX after a visit to survey the fire damage in Pacific Palisades. Take a listen.
I think Pete is going to be a great Secretary of Defense.
Are you disappointed that McConnell voted no?
I didn't even know that. No, I don't know that. I just heard that we won. Winning is what matters, right?
President Trump also said he had a good talk with Governor Gavin Newsom. And earlier in the day, President Trump promised Southern California support while touring the devastation. And as our Tom Waite reports from Pacific Palisades, there were some contentious moments between the president and local leaders.
A historic and intense day in Southern California as President Trump came to the area to visit the Palisades disaster area. Take a look here. This is the president arriving at LAX, where he met the governor. Then the president made his way via helicopter over to the Palisades, first touring the devastation via the air. The president then landed after taking that helicopter tour. He met with families, fire victims, who showed him pictures of their homes, talked about their horrific losses and their desire to rebuild. Then came a meeting, a roundtable meeting with leaders locally here in Southern California and fire officials. The meeting started off very positive. The president reiterating that he wanted to help Southern California rebuild and get the aid that it needs. He said he wanted to streamline the federal permitting process. He wanted local leaders to do the same thing. LA Mayor Karen Bass and the governor have already issued executive orders saying that they are streamlining and watering down that bureaucracy to make the permitting process go faster. The president did repeat the false claim about water being sent from northern to Southern California having been a factor if that had happened in putting out the fire. CBS News has confirmed that that is just not factual. That's not the case. And fire officials have told us the same thing, that the hurricane force winds in that fire when it started 2 weeks ago was so overwhelming that it was just an incredible inferno that could not have been put out at that point. Just the winds and the incredible devastation there. Of course, debatable about the issues relating to the reservoirs that were empty, water pressure that was overwhelmed by the unprecedented fire. All of those will be topics that will be discussed in the coming days and weeks. The president, though, having some, tense exchanges at times with Democratic officials who were here at the meeting, including LA Mayor Karen Bass, as President Trump pushed her pretty hard on the issue of getting people back into their homes here in the Palisades. The mayor saying she needs people to stay safe.
But we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe, and we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yes, and they can.
You should let them do it, because by the time you hire contractors, it's going to be 2 years.
If a family...
The people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can.
There's not that much left. It's all incinerated.
Also a big topic at this roundtable was the issue of FEMA. President Trump has repeated several times that he intends to try and dismantle or reorganize it. He spoke about that during the roundtable.
The FEMA is a very expensive, in my opinion, mostly failed situation. We had great people. We did some great jobs, but each state should take care of their problem and get money from the federal government. It would be so much better, so much more efficient. So we're looking at that.
So now the big question is, what happens next? Will these positive words translate into action? Will Congress get together and pass an aid package with no strings attached? We'll see how the politics of this all play out. Reporting from the Palisades, I'm Tom Waite, KCAL News.
Well, after that roundtable discussion Tom told us about, Democratic lawmakers spoke to reporters thanking President Trump for the visit while addressing misinformation about California's water supply.
We have a water delivery system up here to the Palisades that is designed for ordinary use, maybe even put out 2 or 3 house fires at the same time and also allow people to run their lives. We never built a system here to deal with hundreds and hundreds of homes burning at the same time.
Congressman Brad Sherman saying the delivery system needs to be improved. And tonight, firefighters continue to gain ground on fires burning all across Southern California. The Hughes fire, which broke out this week near Castaic Lake, is 79% contained. The Palisades fire is also 79% contained, and containment on the Eaton fire is up to 95%. By the way, for those impacted by the Eaton fire, the cities of Pasadena and Sierra Madre have lifted their do not drink water notices. Now let's send it to Danny Roberti, who's got rain in the forecast.
Yes.
And Danny, you're tracking flood watches this weekend.
Yes, that's exactly right, Juan. So these have gone down today from the National Weather Service. They won't go in effect until Sunday afternoon. I want to talk about the flood watches, and then we'll talk timing of the rain. So these flood watches are in place for some of these recent burn areas. This includes Eaton, Palisades, Franklin, Bridge, and the Hughes burn scars. Now, I want to mention with the flood watch, this does not mean that flooding is certain. It just means that it's possible that we will be looking at those conditions, and we have been looking at this the past couple of days, and it's mainly because there is still a slight chance for isolated thunderstorms to pop up Sunday going into Monday. So that's why they put this down, is they want people to be prepared because of the conditions out there. So we'll talk more on timing. I want to give you an idea of what it looks like outside right now. We're still quiet, we're still calm. Over the next 24 hours, things are going to look and feel different. Take a look at tomorrow. We'll wake up into the 50s, only climbing into the upper 50s. This is a look at the valleys. So it's going to be a chilly day with the rain starting later in the day. Temperatures for the most part hovering in the 50s, low 60s, a chance of rain, but most of that rain holds off until we get to the afternoon and evening. And then you can see we've got rain on the way Saturday, Sunday, again on Monday, lingering into Tuesday morning. So we are going to be looking at 3 straight days of light to moderate showers moving through. We will talk and walk you through the timing of the rain and how much you could see in your neighborhood. That's all coming up in your next weather, Juan.
Sounds good, Danny. Thanks. To breaking news right now in Linwood, Desmond Shaw live in SoCal over a motorcycle officer injured in a crash. Des?
Yeah, Juan, this is the eastbound 105 at the 710. You can see all lanes are blocked right now. It was an LAPD motorcycle officer who went down on their bike. It's not clear if they were headed to or headed back from their shift. Now, I'm going to put on our magnifier here, and you can see that's the bike right there, we believe. It's a pretty good sign that it appears to be mostly intact, but there's a pretty big debris field, so he may have still gone down pretty hard. And we know that that officer was just transported to a local hospital in unknown condition, but they were breathing. And they have requested a tow truck here as well. We don't believe from this, looking at the scene, that this is a hit and run, but we have yet to confirm that from the authorities. You can see CHP here talking to someone here in this white Pontiac. There's several other vehicles as well, and now a major traffic tie-up, probably for quite a while on the eastbound 105. Definitely a drive to avoid because lanes are going to be blocked for the investigation for quite some time. It is jammed now coming out of South LA. Live in SoCal overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw. Juan, back to you now in the studio.
Yeah, look at that, and on a Friday night. All right, Desmond, thank you. Well, back to rain. The threat of rain could add insult to injury for homeowners who lost everything in the wildfires. KCAL's Rachel Kim is in Altadena talking to worried homeowners bracing for what could be next.
But it's going to rain. We don't want the hill to come down. What about putting tarps on it?
When CAL FIRE stopped by Amelia Crawford's Altadena home to see if she needed any help, she wanted to know how she could protect her house in case the burned hillside and back gave way during the rain expected this weekend.
It's a danger because it's more than 20 feet tall.
Crawford is thankful her home was left standing when her neighbors were not during the Eaton fire. Now she hopes it'll survive any potential mud and debris flow from saturated hillsides.
I hope a lot of it doesn't slide. That's my hope, and it'll be my prayer too, that it doesn't slide.
Because we've had mudslides in the past, like 30 years ago, we had big mudslides, big mudslides, and yeah, So I hope it's just not that bad.
Kevin Turner is now displaced after his home on Pleasant Ridge Drive sustained smoke damage. He says whatever happens in the coming days with the rain.
My intention is to get the house back on its feet and live back here again.
LA County Public Works tells us they have 15,000 K-rails that'll be strategically placed in the Eaton and Palisades Fire burn areas. Now they also have 50,000 sandbags for residents to protect their homes. At this particular sandbag distribution center at Victory Park in Pasadena, well, they've been busy all day long.
We're afraid that we're going to get damaged from the mudslides, and so the neighbors said, come over to this spot. They're already bagged. We don't have to try to put the sand in the bags. It'd be easy.
Altadena homeowner Lynn Boyle tells us almost every home on her street is gone. How is it knowing that after all that, now you have to think about rain and mudslides?
I don't know. It's just sort of overwhelming. But just we move forward each day and find joy wherever we can. So this is great to have them load my car.
Also, to prepare for the upcoming storm, the Rubio Catch Basin in Altadena and other debris basins in burn areas, they are being cleaned out to capture any mud and debris flow.
I'm concerned about the scar, what do they call it? The burn scar. The burn scar for everywhere around here.
Although Daniel Cornell didn't lose his home, he can't help but think about what's next for his community.
For all the people that are here and even for the workers, it's scary to think what's going to happen if all this dirt comes washing down.
As residents safeguard their homes as best they can, there is a resounding resilience that is seen and felt everywhere you go in Altadena.
But we're going to see how it plays out, and we're going to help our community and help our neighbors rebuild.
Rachel Kim, KCAL News.
And stay with KCAL News and KCALnews.com throughout the weekend for updates on the rain and any possible problems that may come with it. Coming up here at 8, saved from the flames, the emotional reunion between a woman who got stuck in the Palisades Fire and the firefighter who came to rescue her. Plus, Chicago chefs cook for California, special dinner to support wildfire victims. And some mountain communities are still without power as they brace for freezing temperatures and snow this weekend. Fire concerns leading to unintended consequences like power outages. Some have not had electricity for several days in the Inland Empire and in mountain communities, and it's not the first time. KCAL's Joy Benedict with residents' concerns as the cold and snow heads our way.
The sun may be shining, but it's another dark day in these mountain communities.
I went to get the gas for the generators.
Linda Gibson spent the morning loading up on gas and gifts from SoCal Edison as she's had no power for days.
When the power goes out, the gas stations are closed. So I have to even drive further to be able to get gas, to be able to use the generator.
Gibson lives in Green Valley Lake, north of Running Springs in San Bernardino County.
I work from home too, so when there's no power and the laptop doesn't hold the charge that much. So unfortunately, we have to use the generator every time.
For those without a generator, the loss of power is even harder.
It's cold. Not everybody has a generator. I'm starting to run out of firewood.
This power outage was part of SoCal Edison's public safety power shutoff. But for many, it's the third week in a row.
The stress, the anxiety of not having power and sitting in the dark waiting. Oh, is it going to go on now? Is it going to go on now? Is it going to go on now?
But it wasn't just homes. Businesses out here on Highway 18 also lost power, and those with a generator couldn't stay open long enough.
It has been insane. So we are just the only place that has a generator.
Lulu Bell's Coffee House has had an influx of customers looking for warmth and a place to plug in.
They're just coming in to use the Wi-Fi. You know, basically, and then they will order something. So we've gone through, we've been busier than ever.
No power, no internet.
Businesses without want change.
They need to put the lines underground.
As not everyone is convinced the outages are just to protect from wildfires.
And I think that the power company they're kind of running scared, to be honest. They're scrambling to get repairs made that should have been done a long time ago.
But these neighbors admit it could be worse, and they certainly don't want more fires. They just want to make sure their mountain towns aren't forgotten when it comes time to turn on the lights. Joy Benedict, KCAL News.
So stressful to the folks who live out in the mountains. They have no power, no internet, like that one young lady said. And now we're getting rain in the forecast. It's going to be cold as well. And
it's going to feel like winter. And and Juan, we're going to be talking about the chance for thunderstorms. We're getting snow up in the mountains, rain down here. So we have a lot to talk about. That storm, it's getting closer to us right now, Juan. So here it is. It's on its way over. And this is going to bring us the rain that we've been waiting for. This is going to be beneficial rain. But we've also got to talk about those thunderstorms. So here's a look at it making its way into the Bay Area by the time we get to Saturday. It's going to stall out right there. And then once we get into Sunday, you can see the sky dipping a little bit further south into Southern California. And the focus, kind of the most concerning time for some of that heavier rain, it's going to be Sunday night into Monday, and that's why we are talking flood watches that will be in effect Saturday afternoon into Monday afternoon. So we'll walk you through this, and then I want to talk timing of rain in your neighborhood. So this flood watch, it's for Eaton, Palisades, Franklin Bridge, and the Hughes Burn areas. This is in place because there is the chance for thunderstorms to roll through, and if they do, they could park themselves over one of these areas and bring some heavier rain. This flood watch does not mean that flooding is certain, so I don't want to scare people, but I want to let you know that the conditions are there. We could see it, but it's a slight chance for these thunderstorms, a better chance for this light to moderate rain, but still a possibility. So we are going to keep a very close eye on this for you. So let's talk timing of rain. As that storm makes its way into the Bay Area, we see those clouds rolling in first thing tomorrow morning. And for the first half of the day, it looks like we stay dry. So if you have plans in the morning, you're good to go. It's Saturday afternoon into Saturday night that this rain starts to develop, very light. So that's going to be through LA, Ventura counties, even into Orange County and the Inland Empire. And then as we get going into Saturday night, early Sunday morning, this is when that rain becomes more widespread. We'll see on and off showers during the day on Sunday. This is a look at 10 in the morning. We've got snow up in the mountains. This is going to be a beneficial snowmaker for us. And then we continue to see that rain. Now we get to Sunday evening and you're going to see some darker greens popping up. So this is going to be our opportunity to see some of those isolated thunderstorms. Heavier snow Sunday night into Monday, and then you can see that rain rolling through, lingering into Monday. Some showers still pop up Monday afternoon, and then we get to Monday night into early Tuesday morning, and this is when we start to see this rain moving out of here. So how much rain are we talking? This cold storm moves in from the north that first brings the rain to Northern California. Here at home, we get to Monday, and we are talking anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. You see that in San Bernardino. Now, this is one of those cutoff lows, and when we talk about these guys, there's sometimes low confidence in exactly when it moves through, and this could impact how much rain we see, but we'll keep you updated if things change. And on top of that, we're getting snow up in the mountains. Winter storm warnings for San Bernardino County, Riverside County Mountains, the San Gabriel Mountains, 3 to 6 inches above 4,000 feet, 12 to 18 inches above 6,000 feet. And we are going to see wind gusts up to about 50 miles per hour. So that's why we're dealing with those winter driving conditions. And then winter weather advisories for the Ventura County Mountains, up to 8 inches of snow possible there. Now, tomorrow morning, we start the day in the 40s, and then we are only climbing into the 50s and the 60s. So tomorrow is going to feel cooler than today, even cooler by Sunday. We're talking temperatures 20 to 25 degrees cooler. We'll be in the 50s and the 60s through Tuesday. For the valley, 60s and 50s this weekend. We've got that rain Saturday, Sunday, Monday, lingering into Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the sun shines back. Inland Empire, 50s and 60s through Tuesday. Beaches will be in the 50s and 60s this weekend. Mountains will see that snow Saturday, Sunday, the heaviest snow Sunday night into Monday, and deserts will be rainy through Tuesday with highs in the 40s and the 50s. Sunshine by Wednesday. Coming up on, we're going to talk more about those thunderstorms. We are keeping a close eye on that for you. Again, a slight chance, but still we'll be tracking that very closely.
All right, we'll check back with you later. Danny, thank you. Changing venues. A major golf tournament forced to move after the Palisades Fire, where the Genesis Invitational is headed.
This is KCAL News, Los Angeles.
She was running from the Palisades Fire when her car got stuck as the flames closed in. Now she's meeting the first responder who came to her rescue. KCAL's Michelle Geely was there for the emotional reunion.
I know.
Malibu fire victim Patty Phillips thought she and her dog Coda were going to die when she got her car stuck on a boulder during her escape from Big Rock. That's until LA County Fire Captain Malcolm Dix appeared through blinding smoke and rescued them both.
I don't know how to thank a man that saved my life.
No, it's okay.
Oh.
There was a tearful reunion Friday at Malibu's Fire Station 70. Phillips couldn't wait to meet her hero. It happened in the same spot where Captain Dix left her after the daring rescue the night the Palisades fire began. Phillips was trapped up the hill. Her husband had made it down to PCH and begged for help.
And he's asking the firemen, you need to save my wife. And they like, we can't get up there. The power lines are down and we can't risk a fireman's life. And Malcolm, my hero forever, said, let's go.
It was like a hurricane with fire in it. That was all true. But the houses all around her were burnt and burning. There was a car over the side, their telephone poles down, live wires, boulders.
The pair raced through the flames into Big Rock in Captain Dick's truck and saved Phillips and Coda. She knew him only by his first name, Malcolm, and hoped she could find him and thank him in person one day.
This is such a wonderful story of Captain Dix coming to the aid, not only of Patty, but of her beloved dog, Coda.
Coda came to the reunion that KCAL News viewers helped to make a reality. Shortly after my first story aired with Phillips, praising a firefighter she knew only as Malcolm, we tracked down Malcolm Dix, who was coordinating search and rescue for people missing in the Palisades fire. He and Phillips talked for a few minutes on a FaceTime call and said they'd connect when the situation improved.
Showing extraordinary bravery and putting his own life at risk, Captain Dix, without hesitation, raced to locate and rescue Patty and Coda, eventually bringing them to safety.
Captain Dix was recognized by county leaders and got plenty of hugs from the woman he saved.
I'm just doing my job. It's what we're paid to do, and I'm just glad she's safe. Her husband and dog are safe. I felt guilty for a while not knowing if her home had burned down or not, but her home is safe too. And sorry I had to run away.
He left me.
But there was a lot more things to do on the fire.
There really aren't words to tell someone who risked his life to save a person he didn't even know.
Phillips' home was saved, but there's still no power. The family is staying with friends. After 14 straight days on the fire, Captain Dix was released to go back to his station in Pacoima, where he coordinates urban search and rescue. In Malibu, Michelle Geely, KCAL News.
The Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights LA is launching a new hotline that it says is meant to protect immigrants. The new rapid response network says people can report ICE raids and request referrals for support and information on immigrant rights. Volunteers and staff will follow up with each report and offer attorneys, legal observers, and other people who can support those impacted by immigration enforcement operations. And developing tonight, fire crews are still battling the Border 2 fire. That's burning several miles north of the U.S.-Mexico border in the San Diego area. It has grown rapidly, reaching more than 6,200 acres. CAL FIRE says it's about 10% contained. There are still evacuation orders and warnings in the area. Well, when the fires broke out, American Red Cross officials jumped into action, sending trained volunteers and resources into our area. Our Jamie Maggio, who's a local Red Cross board member, went to the LA region headquarters to see how they assemble in times of crisis.
So this is our emergency operations center here at our downtown LA headquarters. This is basically the nerve center of our entire relief operation for all of the fires that have been happening in the LA region. We've got more than 550 volunteers on the ground here in LA County working these
from other places.
that flew in from all over the country.
We're able to track a whole bunch of different information. So on this map currently, we are able to see our shelter operations, so where our folks are in those congregate care settings. We're able to see the different calls that are coming in for questions about their loved ones and our reunification efforts, or also people looking for food, financial assistance, and just general information. So we're able to track all that data.
Not only do they provide shelter, food, and medical assistance, they also reunify loved ones.
In the chaos of the evacuation, there's people who might have evacuated. They've gone to family and friends. Maybe they lost their cell phone or weren't able to grab it or something like that. We're working with communities. We work with all kinds of different groups to help locate these people. Many times we get calls from friends, be like, hey, I haven't heard from so-and-so, and we can help track them down, whether they're in our shelters or maybe we've talked to them in some other aspect. We can help make that connection.
If we zoom into these orange and yellow areas, we're able to see those heat maps of folks that did experience home loss. So we're able to see our detailed damage assessment. And so all of these tools allow us to make data-driven decisions, so that steers our operation on where we should go, where we should serve, and where we need to focus our mission.
When you're going through this type of disaster, you probably need someone to come in and really help to, bridge the gap to get those resources and to even be aware of what's available to you. I mean, you're dealing with such a crisis and the loss of everything.
It's overwhelming. It's, people have really, they had to run out of their homes. Some of them with just the clothes on their backs, and we are doing everything that we can to get them the stuff they need. They're, down to the vitamins that they are missing, to their medications, prescription glasses, CPAP machines, all of those things. We are making sure that our shelter residents are being taken care of in every single way, spiritually, emotionally. We're bringing in support animals. We have spiritual leaders on the ground who are providing counsel for people. We have the Department of Mental Health in our shelters, so if you need someone to talk to.
Joanne Nowlin is the CEO of the Red Cross Los Angeles region, and she was impressed with the response from the LA community.
It was stunning how quickly we actually momentarily crashed our volunteer system, because so many, over 10,000 Angelinos went online to apply to volunteer at the Red Cross.
This is not going away anytime soon. This is going to be a long-term project.
It is. It's long-term, not only helping meet immediate needs, then there's longer-term needs, and then helping everyone deal with really the trauma of this devastating fire.
That was Jamie Maggio reporting. And a reminder, we've partnered with the American Red Cross to help fire victims. If you'd like to donate, scan that QR code on your screen or go to redcross.org/KCAL. LA World Series champions giving back to the community, how the Dodgers are supporting fire victims. Plus, unable to purchase supplies, how a directive from the Trump administration is keeping scientists from doing research. Plus, how Long Beach is supporting small businesses one food cart at a time. Long Beach is supporting some of the smallest businesses. This week, city leaders gave out the first of several free food carts. It's part of an effort to help business owners comply with the city's sidewalk vending ordinance. 36 people have applied for carts just like this since the program began last August. The Sidewalk to Success program also helps sidewalk vendors cover license and health permit costs. Still ahead here tonight, the new tribute for Kobe Bryant, as this weekend marks 5 years since his tragic death. And cooking for California, a group of chefs in Chicago collaborating on a special menu to raise money for fire recovery. Danny?
Hi, Juan, and good evening, everyone. We are gearing up for our first significant storm in over 9 months. By this time tomorrow night, we're talking rain, we're talking mountain snow, but some of this rain could trigger flash flooding. We'll talk timing of the storms for your weekend and your next weather.
We're getting a look at what some are calling a glimpse of the future. Check this out. Tech-curious people at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland this week had a chance to attend a demonstration of Meta's Orion augmented reality glasses. The wearable tech uses holographic projection, allowing users to see graphics in their field of view. The high-tech glasses have eye tracking that acts like a mouse cursor and a wristband to read movement signals from the brain. Meta chief Mark Zuckerberg has suggested in the future, smart glasses will replace smartphones as the main mode of communication. Cell phones can do so much more than just make calls these days. We all know that. They've become our phones, a navigation system, TV, and music player all in one. But as Danya Backus reports, tech companies are trying to make the smartphone even smarter.
Samsung is out with a new smartphone, and artificial intelligence is at the center of it.
We are setting the standard for mobile AI innovation.
The Galaxy S25 comes with Google's Gemini technology, which can help with questions or offer dinner ideas just by taking a look at what's in your refrigerator.
Can you recommend me some recipes with these? Sure, here are some recipe ideas based on what I found in your fridge.
Gemini is also available on Google Pixel phones and allows users to carry on a conversation.
Can you explain organic chemistry as if it were some juicy gossip?
Organic chemistry is all about carbon's relationships, who it's bonding with, who it's breaking up with, and what kind of crazy molecules they're forming.
Apple is also making the phone more of a personal assistant. Apple Intelligence can transform a short note into a formal invitation and create custom emojis based on your description. But apparently, the new technology has yet to impress consumers. A survey last month from the smartphone marketplace SoCal found that 73% of iPhone users and 87% of Samsung users say AI features add little to no value. However, analysts believe that will change as the tech improves.
There's been a lot of hype around AI and some of the things theoretically it could do, but I feel like today we started to get a hint at some stuff that, regular people are going to want to use and that will be truly impactful.
Danya Backus, KCAL News.
Thanks for watching KCAL News at 8. KCAL News at 9 starts right now.